Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again. This time we're going to be talking about what are the stories behind your table's most dramatic or funniest quotes. Come on, we all got them. Spill them down in the comments below. Congratulations! You just solved racism with cookies. That's not going to age well. I was DMing a private session for a friend whose character was climbing the second layer of Mount Celestia. I was tired, underprepared, and being a little goofy. So when I did some research on the second layer, I learned that it's all about teaching and spreading virtue. So I told them they found themselves in a small town in pre-Civil War South Carolina and told them, do your best. So they approach a local and start educating them about how slavery is bad and how the slaves don't like it. Of course, the guy doesn't care, so my friend says that if they free the slaves, then they'll be happy, so they'll make the entire town delicious cookies. The slave owner is like, well, why would I do that when I can just order them to make me cookies whenever I want? Well, my friend responds, well, then they wouldn't be made with love. That's the secret ingredient that makes them taste so amazing. Eventually, I have them roll persuasion. Nat 20. I describe how apparently the guy was the mayor of the town, and he abolishes slavery there. And all the freed slaves are so happy they make everyone in town the most amazing cookies, and everyone is happy forevermore as they enjoy delicious chocolate chip cookies together. That is when I drop the line. The cookies are now a magical item in my game with a mystical property which causes whoever eats them to stop having racist thoughts. Take 2 D6 Canoe damage. The session previous saw 2 out of 3 PCs leave the party, one dying to inflict wounds from a cultist leader, and the other leaving due to military trauma in his backstory. During the downtime, the player was on his laptop looking to see what machines existed in my campaign. For context, my campaign was set on the cusp of the beginning of the 20th century. Through his scrolling, he became enthused about advertisements about canoes. The following session, with the dead PC back alive and a new PC for the player, they started mentioning canoes in character, talking about books about canoes, making jokes related to canoes, and referencing the Canoe ad in conversation. I told him as a joke they would take canoe damage the next time they talked about canoes. An invitation to let a canoe joke fly. I rolled 2d6 bludgeoning and described as a magical canoe dropped from the sky and clobbered them on the back of the head. The NPCs briefly acknowledged the magical canoe clobbering before returning to their conversation like nothing happened. Now, when the character mentions canoes, I like to pick up 2d6 in my hand and death stare the player as a little inside joke. You critically fail the shot and piss in your own mouth. I had a curse that made me piss every turn. I wanted to take advantage of it and piss on the enemy goblins. Also, I wield the boner and thrust. Ooh, fancy. Legendary long bone katana gifted by the dragon god, which was appropriately named the Boner. It's like a postal campaign. At my current table, I'm playing a port of Shardmind from 4th edition into 5th edition. Been around since before the Githyanki invasion hundreds of thousands of years ago. I was in a court case after my party members framed my character for a heist that they did. I showed them a selective edit of what people did back then to make it seem like that's where he learned everything that humans do to help him fit in. After that, the judge went, I'm sorry you had to endure that. However, since you're so old, I'm declaring you mentally incompetent, and you owe the city 100,000 gold. You're lucky I don't put you in prison. Yes, because you're so old, that means you're getting away scot-free. Well, I mean, aside from paying up your pension there, buddy. Congratulations! You successfully forced the goblin to eat his brother. Basically, what happened was there was a large group of goblins near town. Some of the goblins attacked the town while the party was there. They were quickly defeated, and we kept one alive to ask it questions. After numerous intimidation tactics, our warlock, who was also a goblin, ripped a chunk of meat out of a dead goblin, which happened to be the goblin's brother, and forced the meat into the goblin's mouth, causing the goblin to choke to death. "This is how Royce rolls!" Catchphrase of the best friend NPC, Royce, right before or after anything stupid awesome happens. "I didn't know you were interested in archaeology." I know it says pronounced like archaeology, but archaeology? Really? An NPC to a player who was researching the history of orcs for story-related purposes. Cute idea. "Can I hit Strahd with a chicken wing?" Get invited to a cordial dinner by Strahd. Upon arriving to him, playing fancy, or can immediately start insulting his drip and home. Split the party with tanks one way and support staying with Strahd. Support tries to riz Strahd out of his stuff. Gets muted. Paladin and fighter warlock immediately raid the castle of all valuables and talk about committing terrorism. Party unites only to steal Dragon's Skull and all jump out of separate windows for maximum damage. Throw chicken leg at Strahd as we jump. Nat 20. Bok bok, motherfucker. I'm dead. Mission accomplished. What mission? Wait a minute. Bok bok, motherfucker. Quack. If you don't want your spine back, I'll keep it. The sorcerer was mistaken as a chosen of Mystria. A cult was killing all the chosen and attacked the sorcerer while she was alone with my monk and her family. An anti-magic field meant the sorcerer couldn't do anything, but the cult wasn't prepared for a level 20 monk and her purely martial family to jump into the fight. We weren't affected by the anti-magic field at all. The cultists panicked and tried to mutilate the sorcerer so she couldn't be brought back with reviving. One cultist ripped out a chunk of spine and tried to run with it. I reclaimed the piece of spine so we could try to fix the damage while we waited for our cleric to return. However, the sorcerer made a deal with the devil to rejoin the fight. She had been pulled into another voice channel and didn't know my monk and family had already won the battle. I ended the game with a vertebra in my pocket. DM said it was enough for the clone spell. Roll for cannon. That rolls a 1. Ha ha! She has huge tracts of land. Okay, so my party has a table tool called the RFC, roll for cannon. We roll a D6 1-3 cannon, 4-6 not cannon. We all have just watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail and are quoting it in-game to much hilarity. I, the DM, am slowly getting fed up with this because I'm trying to run a dramatic session, so I bring out the possible encounter for the day. A large Aachen spider queen. As I am describing this, our gnome warlock interjects. You see a woman's torso atop a massive spider carapace. Her hair is silver with a thin sliver of violet. She has black eyes and huge tracts of land. The table demands a cannon roll, and the rest is history. What in the absolute is that thing? The party's demon-hating, Doom Guy-themed barbarian aiming their great sword at my character in a WoW campaign during their first introduction. The context: we are fighting a large horde of demons, with a varying mixture of the following: Felguards, Fellhounds, and Felguard Elites. Their characters introduced mid-combat because they're a new player to the campaign, and the first session we joined was after we ended the last one in combat with said previous demon horde. After the combat ended, my character walks up to them and introduces themselves, says hello, and thanks them for their help during that fight. But what they see approaching them is one of the Felguard Elites walking up to them and the player party all friendly-like, carrying what seems to be one of the party members' dead corpses on their back. My character is normally a Frost Troll Shaman, who wears a full set of plate mithril armor and is of the Shaman class, basically WoW version of Clerics and Druids combined. Because of their desire to understand all walks of life, they have a tendency to use the Magic Jar spell to inhabit the bodies of powerful enemies that they've slain. The whole party knew this, and were well used to their body snatching shenanigans. But the new barbarian who hates demons with a burning passion didn't know this, which is what led to them trying to kill my character in their first introduction. Luckily, we were able to de-escalate the situation before anyone got to fighting again. When we had a new player join again many sessions later, I was careful to explain to them what I was doing and that everyone was aware of it before I went and body snatched the greater demon boss that we had been fighting at that point. In our Star Wars game, we were discussing how to leave an Imperial-controlled planet without drawing attention to ourselves. I noted there was a large slave population and thought that a transfer would make a perfect cover for us to not only leave the planet, but also hide the person we were trying to rescue as well. Now, I am not playing a good character by any means. I am playing a Mandalorian demolitions expert. I am responsible for a few acts that produced massive collateral damage. I do not hide from or shirk my responsibility in those acts. I use whatever tactics I can justify by the raison d'être or tradition in history. Generally, this means keeping my strikes as contained as possible. That being said, I'm not perfect. I missed some things. Anyway, back to the plan. As I am mentioning saving slaves, something I have never expressed a desire for in character, a comment is made on how I am willing to spring so many slaves to safety despite the fact that it is not in our mission briefing, leading to me saying the most in-character thing for this guy. Yeah, I want to save people, but not for altruistic reasons. One for the girls in the games I'm in has me smuggling an extra bag of titty gold in their shirts. It caused many a chuckle. Laser nipples! Basically, our lizard folk wild barbarian rolled to shoot light out of his chest 3 times in a row. As a result, I rolled he could choose to use that instead whenever he wanted in place of the original. Brother, the bartender got me pregnant, says the disembodied voice of my Dragonborn fighter's older sister when a group did a one-shot in a necromancer's lair. Our Herringon blood hunter paladin was one, which led us to assuming it was him. You're screwed now, buddy. Okay, what has Audria done? Satan? We were in a court session with the god of life because he was being an atrocious parent to his offspring, which were called the Phalsalmians. This is just for some context, of course, by the way. We, as players, were debating why it was a bad idea to have Audria, the ruler of hell in this game we were playing, on the jury to decide the god's fate. Yeah, you don't want death and life to be trying to fight over who's winning. You can't have food in a library, said the ranger. You can't have dragons in a library, said the bard. So our party's Drake Warden Ranger is a Damphir who knows nothing of her past. Every time we hit a new city, she goes to the library for lore dumps. After bringing her dragon, yes, I actually gave her a baby bronze dragon for the class, into the library, the bard tries to feed it a snack. Not one animal handling. Baby dragon goes nuts in the library, prompting this response. Help! I lost myself! Whenever we got bored waiting for the DM to show up in college, he was usually anywhere from a few minutes to a couple hours late, but we were in college with not much better to do. My friend and I would use spot and stealth rolls to play hide and seek, then RP the results. I rolled a nat 1, confirmed with another nat 1, and it was my turn to find him. I failed so hard that I lost myself. The party has been stuck in the astral plane for a while after fleeing from mind flayers through a portal. At the same time, some right-hand man of Vecna, who was our current enemy, has collected 4 of the 5 masks of Tiamat, wanting to bring her into the material plane, allowing other gods, Vecna included, to enter. That's not good at all. When we returned to the material plane and heard the news of the villain, we went to his hideout. At the front door, my life domain cleric, remember, life domain, said, "May the goddess of life forgive me, because I'm about to end one." Oh, don't mess with her. I like it, though. Hey, everybody. Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and, of course, leave a comment down below. We love you all. Please be safe, be happy, and be healthy. We'll see you later.